Hey there, welcome back to the Feeding Your Fam kitchen. Today I'm sharing with you my favorite recipe for homemade buttermilk biscuits. Now this recipe is a family favorite. I think we make this pretty much every Saturday in our house. These biscuits are buttery, flaky, perfect for drizzling some sausage gravy over the top, topping with just some butter and jam. This recipe honestly couldn't be any easier. Let me walk you through the simple steps. So first, we're gonna start with 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Just get that into your mixing bowl, and then we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then we're just gonna whisk those together just to kind of sift the ingredients, get any lumps out of that flour, just to make sure these are nice and smooth. Okay, now we've got those all whisked together, and now we're gonna cut in our butter. Now I'm using cold butter. I just barely pulled this out of the refrigerator. You want your butter to be nice and cold when you're mixing it into these biscuits. Now, there are a couple different ways you can get your butter mixed into these biscuits. I am just gonna cut it into just some coarse pieces before I get it into the flour, and then I like to use my pastry cutter to just cut this butter right in. Just cut it until it's like coarse sand. You can see chunks of butter in there still, and the flour's coated everything nicely. Now, if you don't have a pastry cutter, you can just use 2 knives. Just cut through that butter until it becomes coarse, just like it was with the pastry cutter. Or lastly, you can also use a cheese grater. This is a great method. And then lastly, we need to add in some buttermilk. Now I'm using cold buttermilk, and alternatively, if you don't have buttermilk, that's totally fine. You can use just milk in this recipe, or you can also make your own buttermilk substitute by adding a tablespoon of white vinegar. And just let that sit for a few minutes, and it will become chunky and gross and acidic, just like buttermilk. And you don't want to drink it, but that's how you make just a quick buttermilk substitute, and it works perfectly in this recipe. I'm just going to use my wooden spoon just to mix that until it becomes a nice dough. It might be a little bit sticky, and that's totally fine. Now take your dough, and we're just gonna dump it out onto a floured surface, and then I'm gonna roll it out. I like my biscuits to be about a 1/2 inch thick. You can do them thinner, you can do them thicker. It just depends on how you like them. Our dough is all rolled out, so now we need to cut those biscuits. Now I like to just use a drinking cup because it's the perfect size. It's what I've always used. If you have a fancy biscuit cutter, go ahead and use that, or use a drinking cup, or whatever you have on hand at home. Oh, look at these beautiful biscuits. I can't wait to get them in the oven. All right, I've got my oven set at 425. It's been preheating while I've been making this dough. And I'm just gonna put them on the center rack, and they're gonna cook for about 12 to 15 minutes, just until they are nice. They're gonna get puffed up, and they're gonna be golden brown on the outside. Can't wait. Biscuits are done. Let's get them. They cooked up perfectly, they're browned nicely. Oh, and they're hot. I should really wait, but I just can't. They are the best when they're fresh out of the oven. Ooh, they smell amazing. Cannot wait to get some butter and some honey and some jam right on these. Thanks so much for watching this video on how to make buttermilk biscuits. I hope these biscuits become a regular in your home like they are in ours. If you haven't already, please subscribe and follow along for more family-friendly recipes to help you with feeding your fam. I'll see you next time.